See, in my 24 years of living, I've failed at a lot of fucking things. You know, even right now, I'm failing at things that aren't going the way that I wanted them to go. And failure to me is deemed by the expectation that I set myself and the outcome not coming in the set amount of time that I desired. To me, that can be a failure. But in the grand scheme of things, I won't give up, so I know I won't fail. And after so many years of failing, when I was 15 years old, trying out for varsity football, I thought I was the shit. I was an athlete. I wasn't bad for my age, yet now I'm second string. And then junior year comes around and I fall further down the totem pole. Right now I'm a junior not making varsity. So then it takes away all the love of football, and now I'm deemed a failure because I quit football. That's how I look at it. When I was 19 years old, straight out of high school, I went to college and dropped out, right? Because the college just wasn't for me. And I started day trading, I put a couple $100 in here and there. And before I knew it, I had thousands of dollars inside of trading. But ultimately, I was deemed a failure because in the end, I wasn't really profitable. And even now, I opened my own business in April of 2025, and it's successful. It's able to pay the bills of this couch I sit on in this apartment that I live in. I have food. I'm very blessed. I'm very grateful, and I thank God every single day. Yet I hold myself to such a high standard and high expectation to the goals that I wrote down almost 1 year ago for this business. And I'm only halfway there to those goals in terms of what the goal is. So am I deemed a failure? To me, no, because I'm still pushing forward. But through all of these things, through all the lows, through all the trials and errors, through all the fuck ups I've had in my life, I've realized that none of these came by a set of external circumstances. I couldn't blame someone for me not starting on varsity because the other guy was, maybe his dad paid more money or he was stronger than me, right? I can't blame the stock market for being very manipulative and ultimately people just being money makers on the other side liquidating me, right? I can't be upset at the market that I work my business in and deem that the reason that I'm not successful. See, the reason in all the revolving circumstances for any time that I've failed in my life, the reason that I've failed is because of me. And it is a hard pill to swallow. See, I had to realize that change in your life doesn't come from outside, it comes from within. See, if I wanted to start and play football and be the best player on my team, I couldn't blame someone else, right? I had to blame myself because I didn't do enough work to actually be worthy of that starting position. If I wanted to make thousands of dollars a week, hundreds of dollars a day within day trading, I can't blame some fucking market maker or manipulation of liquidity inside of the market. I have to blame myself for not understanding that in that given moment when I was trading. I have to blame myself for being greedy and not sticking to the rules that I set for myself as I traded. Same with the business. Why should I blame a market? The financial market's messed up. There's still money to be made. There's still people that need to be helped. There's still people that need to be trained and taken care of. So I knew that I am not where I wanted to be in all those situations. Even now, I'm not where I want to be because there needs to be an internal change that I need to make. And that is just fucking life. If you are not willing to change within yourself, there will not be an external change. There will not be a change in your environment or your life. And that's something that I've just had to deal with. I'm not where I want to be. I have such high standards for myself. I'm not in the position where I wanted to be 1 year ago today. I'm not in the position of where I wanted to be 5 years ago, right? Graduating high school, I'm not where I want to be whatsoever. But am I going to give up because of the set expectation that I set for myself? No, because I refuse to fail. And I know once I change myself in any situation, I will have what I want, right? Well, you can ask, how do you know if you change within, then your external circumstances changes, right? For me, 5 years ago, I lost 80 pounds. I was able to lose 80 pounds because I changed the habits and the man to be disciplined enough to follow a routine and a system to get me to where I wanted to be. See, there was times I didn't even want to be alive. I could definitely look at all the fucked up shit that happened in my life. I could easily just point at something and me not being where I want to be and blame my parents, right? They didn't do anything, but that's who raises you. So some people like to just fault blame them, right? Some people like to fault blame. Maybe I could play the black card and be like, people are racist. That's why I'm not successful, right? I could blame all these external circumstances, but at the end of the day, I was able to pull myself out of the deepest, darkest pit of not even wanting to be alive just by making an internalization change to myself. That's how I know change comes from within, right? So for you that are watching behind this screen, you can change if you just realize that you need to stop pointing fingers and you need to change yourself. You're not where you want to be at your job because you are not putting in the work. You are not making yourself be seen to your boss for you to actually get that pay raise. You want your coworker's position? You want to make more money? Well, show yourself, right? Don't blame some bullshit outside of what you can't control. Blame what you can't control, and that is just your actions, right? You've wanted to lose weight for years. You keep blaming all the fast food and all America's food is unhealthy, and you keep blaming the stress from work, and you keep blaming that you don't have enough money to invest into yourself and you don't have enough money to pay for a gym membership. All that is just a bullshit excuse. I started to lose weight at 18 with no money to my name. I had zero, right? But I was going to figure out a way. So I'd watch some YouTube videos and learn how to work out in my room. I'd do my push-ups. I'd do some type of HIIT circuit, right? If I had enough money to scrape by an $8 pack of chicken breasts, I was going to buy that and eat that for the week and scrap whatever else was in my pantry or my fridge. These are the sacrifices that you need to make. There is no external circumstance that is sufficient enough to dictate the way that you live your life, because at the end of the day, you internalize how significant that external circumstance is. So I refuse to take my exact position where I am on February 3rd or February 4th, whatever it is, February 3rd. I refuse to allow where I am right now and what I am living through dictate the way that my future is going to be, and that is just the damn truth. So if you want to make that change, stop pointing fucking fingers. Change that version of you that's lazy. The version of you that comes home straight from work, goes to the video game, goes to the TV, watches Netflix, eats the bullshit junk food. Change that version of you. Change that version of you that when you start to work out and you do good for a week or two, and then you reward yourself with some bullshit on the weekends, like going out with friends and drinking and having a cheap meal, right? Whatever you eat, whatever the fuck you want. Change that version of you, right? The person that can't stick with things. The person that is so undisciplined that they can't even find their ways of thinking in a positive light. We need to kill the version of ourselves within if we want external change. And that's just the truth. So if you guys don't know how to kill that version of yourself, then message me, reach out. Right? I've been through hell and back to destroy myself. I'm still in real time destroying my ways of thinking so I can be where I want to be in the later future. So through a live process, I'm doing it now, I've done it in the past, and I'm experiencing every single day. So if you guys don't even know where to start, ask me questions, right? You can DM me on Instagram, or you can message me on YouTube to drop a link down in the comment. I don't fucking know. Message me, right? Or you can click that first link in my bio and you can book a call where I can just walk you through whatever your problem is and try to give you a solution based off of your situation. But I promise you, you're going to get nowhere if you continuously just keep blaming people. It took me a long damn time to stop blaming others and start to blame myself. And once I started to take action, my life changed. So God bless whoever's listening to this. I really hope you make some change in the next few hours, few days, few weeks, few months. Because I know damn well you deserve change in your life.